Hello, everyone. This is Report of the Week Food Review. Just gonna steal his intro every time. I don't even know what he says exactly. Let me tweets this out. Let's hashtag it. So all the Ninja Turtle fans can find it. Alright. And let's go to Twitster. And just tweeted it. Where's it at? It's not it. Why's Twitter like this? Elon Musk? More like Elon Muskrat, am I right? This one you don't use the app. There it is. Okay. No, I don't want a freaking NFT. Paused. No. Alright. Chat's open. I'll have a guest joining shortly. Though, kinda need my Ninja Turtle reference. Tell you what. I'll pull it up over here. Hmm? Well, how about this? How about we go turn on. There we go. Alright, so this is my buddy that's about to join us. This is his favorite Ninja Turtle art. It's James Jean. They turned it into some statues, some really, really cool statues. Look at that, it's all painterly looking. I like that, how magenta the red is there. Pretty cool. My favorite Ninja Turtle drawing ever is Joe Mad's. Incredible, dude. So right here, you know that is referenced. But his style is so strong that it looks like Joe Mad art, right? He put it through the Joe Mad filter, which made it super badass. Then we got what? Who's this guy? That's me. That's back whenever I was doing the clean line style during my Citizen Jack days. Classic Ninja Turtle style. This is a cover I did my closer to my normal style. The resolution's low. I don't know. I don't have the original on this laptop, or I would show it. But this was colored by Nick Wentland. Did a really good job on the colors on this. I think I still have a few of these left. Anybody wants one, hit me up. This was the one where the one Ninja Turtle kicked the bucket. I forget which one. Anyway, and I had the rarest cover because this was a convention cover, and the collectors were going bananas because there was a dead Ninja Turtle and there was a convention exclusive. These things were selling for so much money at one point. I ended up signing like shit. I don't know, a couple hundred of them. But yeah. Anyway, so today I think I'm gonna just do a single Ninja Turtle. I don't know what though, so let's grab our pencil and do scribbling. I always like to try to do stuff with cool angles. We have him coming at sword and back here another sword. Do I want this foreshortened? That arm's forward. So if that arm's forward, get the contrapposto on the Ninja Turtle. Let me go back to YouTube in case anybody's commenting. All right, so I think I like this pose right off the bat. I don't know if you can see what that is, but you will see it. All right, let's get going on this. Got something stuffed under. This is a memento. I don't ever want to let it go. Very special to me. All right. I'm gonna try not to end up off the page. I've been doing that a lot whenever I've been doing the sketches with Phil. Right. Could do. Which one has the size? No, Michelangelo is the one with the swords, right? Donatello's the sticks. Comic guy, how did you ever get two Ninja Turtle gigs? You don't even know about them. What a Ninja Turtle poser. Remember that kid Alan Pinkston I told you guys about? That I smashed with the dodgeball? He was really good at drawing Ninja Turtles. He would draw the box art because he had all the toys. I was already kind of done with like animated cartoons at that point in seventh grade. I'd moved on to comics. The detail in comic art obviously is a lot greater than the detail in a cartoon. So It was always more my speed. Right? Or are we gonna erase this and get him on the page? Let's get him all on the page. Besides, I'm not feeling the pose. Draw lightly. Raphael. Thanks, J Dub. Yeah, I don't know. I like the pose when I drew it all small. Now I'm hating it. All right. Close your eyes, Tommy. Center yourself. Let's draw. Let's draw a busted up, ass whooped Ninja Turtle. Right? Yeah. See, I'm definitely feeling this one a lot more. We're gonna. How strong are we gonna make this Ninja Turtle? We gonna pump this motherfucker up or what? Gonna make him Bisley level jacked? Ninja Turtle on the gear, son. That's what's up. Hmm. Sorry, checking out the camera. That's better. All right. So we're gonna have spotlight kind of up above, so we can make this thing like super, super dark shaded. All right. So there's this trap. I was drawing his shoulder up too high. He's kind of doing that Mel Gibson trying to get his shoulder back into socket. What Ninja Turtle do we want this to be? Hey, when I'm done drawing, wait, when you're done drawing your comic, can you please show us how to draw comic stuff that are shown? Yeah, hey, Chuck Lee, I can do that starting tomorrow if you want. I'm gonna definitely start streaming every day. I have to. But John's gonna murder me. Streaming brings value to what I do art-wise, right? So if people feel like they're getting something from a stream, be it entertainment or, some learning, they'll be more inclined to back the book that you're working on. So I gotta definitely focus in and do that more. I've been talking about it, but so far I've just been all talk. Because I'm busy drawing the damn books. I want to make sure my book's not late. It's due to ship next April, and I got quite a few pages to do. I was hoping to be done at the end of the year, but layouts took a little longer. I had a couple deaths in the family. Shit just happens. But I'm still I'll be done middle of January, definitely. And the book's not supposed to ship till April, so there's no um, shouldn't be any chance unless something catastrophic happens. But you never know. But yeah, I'd love to go into detail and answer any questions that you'd have on how I go about approaching a page or any little secrets. Well, J Dub, no wonder you couldn't get a like. Did the Ninja Turtle look like this right here? Hopefully that'll come up. Boom roasted. All right. Could do a lot of garbage and stuff back here, right? Because they're in a sewer, so this is maybe the light coming down from the manhole cover. Let's see. Arc. All right, so he's here. Spotlight would be on the ground there. The ellipse starts to flatten out. Horizon line. Then the curve wants to start going the other way, right? And there. Looks like that's probably the room he's in. So did you like look up reference for your Ninja Turtle? All right, look at a little bit of reference here. Should I have? Let's do the Scotty Young with like one big giant crazy eye. Do you guys know if they ever really made army helmets out of turtle shells? Think that was ever a thing for real? How's the drawing showing up over there? Decent. I could probably. Let me. Give me 2 seconds here and I'll see if I can't mess with the configure. Oops, there. Camera can. Shit, it's doing autofocus. I know that's no good. A little darker. Brightness. Let's bring the brightness down. Showing up a little better. Contrast up. Gain. Leave it there. There. Okay. So that should be showing up a little bit better. Has Del Keown ever drawn a Ninja Turtle? If not, I feel like that the world is missing something that should be in existence and isn't. Somebody Google that. Delcan Ninja Turtle. I don't want to give him a gut. I like drawing like the Hulk with a gut. Any bigger character, I like them to have that strong man type abdomen. Big old HGH gut. Guys, I will never tell you to smash that like button and subscribe. That's how I talk to my wife. Tell her to smash that like button and subscribe. That's just not my style. How about a Ninja Turtle with some broken teeth, right? Has anyone ever put a goatee on a Ninja Turtle? I feel like that's something that needs to happen at some point too, right? We did it. We just did it. He's got some scale stubble. Oh yeah. Does it look like it's drawn on a comic cover? You know how they print them with the white cover? I forget what they call that. All right, I'm already going, so everyone should be able to hear you. 1 second, let me double check in OBS. All right, say something now.
Hello, hello.
Can you guys hear him? J Dub, can you hear Nick?
J Dub's a loyal listener.
He is. He hear every time, which is good because I'm the only one. It's awfully lonely. Hi, thank you so much for the fun. All right,
So what? You
they.
digging deep into the TMNT today, or what?
I don't know about deep, but I showed them a couple of my covers. I showed them the James John that you liked a lot,
Oh yeah.
and then I showed them my favorite Ninja Turtle, which is Joe Mads. And then I got to drawing one. I'm drawing one right now.
I think
Already erased like the first 2 or 3 tries at it, but I got a good one now, dude. He's like all hunched over, busted up. It's gonna be badass.
what I like about the James Jean one is you see so many turtles that they can become generic, but his is still original, hyper detailed, and especially the statues that they made. And there's just an energy and a kind of a strangeness to it. So it might be because I've been oversaturated with turtles that I like the oddball one, you know. But I do think it's done like, man, to get a whole
Well,
comic that looked like that would be awesome,
well,
you know.
you like all the oddball art, you know. So
Yeah, it's true. Idiosyncratic weird, that's my thing.
who's the guy that always has the characters bent over with stomach pain?
Matt Lesniewski.
Yeah, yeah. I like his stuff. I like Ian Bertrand.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like all that stuff until started hanging out with you. And just over the years, it's an acquired taste. You know, it's just like you know.
Just something different. And what I like about it is a lot of those guys we talked about just there, they're also technically proficient. You can get these scratchy kind of weird guys that aren't controlled, but those guys have a control to their stuff too.
Oh yeah,
So
you can spot a fake for sure.
you can get you get the draftsmanship if you're a craft guy, and you get the organic drawing, like cool drawing stuff if you're, you know, and you get something that's a little strange. You know, looks like it came from a different universe. So that's what I love about just, you know, a lot of the indie guys and a lot of the not well known people. Whereas when you get with Marvel and DC and all those people, they're they want to keep their things on brand, which is understandable, completely understandable. So it's kind of an uphill fight for a lot of those cats to
Hmm.
get the work. But once they break through and get an audience like James Jean, that guy's a millionaire now. He doesn't even mess around in comics anymore. Also, like what I think about, the way I like to think about aesthetics
Hmm.
is like you can be like Frank quietly and kind of speak in his voice and sing in his voice and try to, but you're still a mimic. But what I like is when those guys that go completely off the rails, like your Matt Lesniewski's and whatnot, I think they are speaking in their own language, and so everything they draw kind of can't be critiqued because it's completely encoded through their own mind and hand. So it's like they've developed a visual language for themselves instead of taking bits and pieces. It's like they came out whole. And that's what that's interesting to me too. It's like, what is this guy smoking to draw like this?
Literally. Sounds like a scam to me.
Well, I think it's that like
It's
Jack,
not a scam though, but like for real, it is like a quick path
a quick path. Yeah,
to
like
standing out, and
Jack,
I don't
Jack,
have it in me. Like I fell in love with that image stuff, and I feel like Wizard talked me into that, liking that style so much, and then of course all the kids at school, that there was no hope for me ever wanting to do a different type style. I mean once I met you and hanging out and talking art, I got to where I liked a lot more different stuff. And now I'm kind of jealous of those guys that do their own thing, totally.
yeah, and I was hopeless that I just happened to read the Authority and Frank Quietly stuff, and so I was lucky in that I already picked a weird thing, but mine is still a mimic of that thing too, and I know that to be a hindrance. But you're right. So I've thought about this a lot because I got a teaching degree and teaching background in art. So what I think happens is if a kid came in drawing their own way, there it looks a little odd. But if they draw a whole comic like that, you would completely understand that comic. Now, if that kid
It's like that.
calls,
Remember that Axe Cop book?
yeah, yeah, like there's what I'm getting at is like why everyone goes down the path of craft and mimicking. It's because if a kid shows up with a stick figure comic book, you can completely understand it because it's delineated into their shorthand and they're very confident and comfortable in the marks they're making. And you can read that comic book and you believe it. The second that kid draws a realistic panel, the matrix is broken, right?
Hmm.
But here's the thing: adults will be like, "Oh, that looks more real. That looks more feathered and rendered and shading and whatever they're into." Now that kid gets reinforced to go down the path of craft, which is now comparing everything to reality instead of their own imagination. And the coolest thing, like if you get within, we talk about this a lot. You brought this up with memes, is a that weird, like NPC robot
Yeah,
etch a sketch drawing,
like
like
great art does not work on a meme, dude. It fucking kills it.
yeah, yeah, because I think you become aware of the message, or you become aware of the messenger instead of the message, and even the flippantness of like memes are like take a piss on stuff. So if you try too hard, it doesn't work. It's got to be like hit the core note honestly, not care. It's irrelevant or irreverent, and it's also taking a piss, as the Scottish folks would say, on stuff. And if you try too hard and you actually rendered it perfect, it wouldn't. The message, you're too aware of the messenger and the effort, and that kind of undermines the whole spirit of the thing. And
Yeah,
so like
it's weird too. It's like the whole webtoon shit. Those are all kind of crappy, shitty arts. Like you don't see any webtoons that are like well drawn. Now the anime or the manga shit. That's a different story. They got a whole fucking different thing going on over there.
well I think the manga crowd is a healthy crowd because they just want the content. They want to see like I have a one of the kids that or the kid now that comes to me, Ken, and Ken.
Hmm.
Um, he's into webtoons and stuff, and they just want the content. They don't care about the perfect drawings and the awesomeness of the drawings. They just want to see these characters. They want to read the characters and read the story, and they're very forgiving about the drawing ability. And if you told them they could get 4 episodes a week or 1 episode a week, they would take the 4 episodes a week over the 1 episode that was drawn perfect. Where for me, I want this stuff in print forever and to feel special. And so much of my identity is rolled into my ability to draw that it's hard for me to just do my layout and put some word balloons over it, which is essentially what when I see a lot of that work, it feels like the second pass of a layout when I do 4 passes and a color and a this and a that, you know. But when me and you've shared our layouts, we actually oftentimes like our layouts that we do more than our finishes, and we bust each other's balls about it. Like your Kim Jong Ji video I called you about yesterday, which I not ironically has the most views you've ever had times 6 or something.
6. It's
That
like way more than that, dude.
yeah,
It's
but
crazy.
like you didn't put any underdrawing effort and all the building that we do and all the reference that we do. It's just kind of gestural and really leaning into organic drawing and your natural instinct. And you could lay out a book like that, and that would probably be one of the better drawn webtoons books, and you could do it pretty fast, right? And it would be enough. But for whatever reason, we're pre-programmed to do all of this understructure and building, which I think has its value, but it doesn't have perhaps we are stuck or molded from our early experiences like anything else in life, and it holds us back in a sense too. Like my Axe Wilder John stuff, you always say, and I agree, like, oh, I actually like your color mock-ups with my kids freaking um, color pencils better than your finals. And it's true, you know, you lose a little bit when you
Yeah, I've
overwork.
tried to talk you
So
into doing that, where you use the multiple colored pencils,
yeah,
but
and I
you're not doing local color. You're just finding whatever.
finding shapes and forms, and it ends up lighting the piece in a certain way that makes it look visually interesting, and it keeps all the organicness that you lose when you stop to tighten stuff up. So I know exactly, and then here's the problem: me and you know exactly what we're talking about. I can get it from youth to adulthood, but we're so ingrained in the formula that we still can't break out of it, even though consciously
I
we know we
yeah,
should.
yeah. I've tried. It's impossible.
Um, it's like that with the comic book industry too. We came up at such a time where Marvel and DC was it. Like that was the goal. That's why we were drawing the way we're drawing. That's what we wanted. And then you see the industry and its shortcomings as an adult, and you can see it's not done right with their variants or their agendas or whatever's going on, and whatever you agree or disagree with them. But you can look at it and be like, man, I like they could be making smarter decisions for the health of the industry long term instead of short term, because so many of their choices are the being in the now, the moment, and getting them all the money they can and all the press they can, instead of thinking about the health of these characters over 5 years. And a lot of that you can argue is because they're corporations now and they've got quarterly dividends, and their livelihoods depend on turning that nut, you know, in 3 months instead of building something out for 5 years. But we can see it. We know it. We know we need more of a YouTube presence. We know we need to get into crowdfunding. But that was still, even for me with Axe Wilder or you with Graveyard Shift, it's still so hard to make that jump. It's still so scary, even though we know logically, based on our years in the industry, that it's the right move, you know? And you can see that, like the smart guys in the industry, like Mark Millar, he's now he went on Critical Drinker. He's rubbing elbows with some of the YouTube folks, the kayfabe guys and different guys,
Hmm.
and now he opened up his thing. And I would say that why is Mark doing that? And I think Mark loves the industry. Mark has always looked and put his finger in the wind and said, "Oh, we know 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when his Mark Millar World stuff was coming out, he said, okay, I'm going to make sure these comic shops who are the heartbeat of the ordering get recognition in my books by running advertisements for them if they order X amount." He was always on the forefront of thinking that. And he's had to, at this point, stick his thumb in the wind and be like, okay, YouTube is essentially the new message boards, because he had the Millar board and the Bendis board was big. And that he and whole Warren Ellis board was around too, you know, where all the Damons came from back in the day.
Hmm.
And basically, now he's seeing that. Could you imagine if a creator of his stature really started building it with the talent he could bring on, with the connections he has. And he doesn't have to do it. I think he's always concerned about the health of the industry, and I think he's a winner. And I think he knows that's the path to winning
We,
in the future
we got
comics.
we got Malin with the callback joke on a stream he didn't even watch. He says that he kept his finger in the butt of the industry. Digit deep. Malin is getting a solid wipe.
What's this? Is somebody messaged this or what?
Uh, John's in the chat.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so there's like that. That's like that's what the like if why is Mark doing that? And I think it's obvious, you know, and obviously Malin's success and all these guys' success in the industry. It's just so hard to let it go, you know. It's so hard to you're pre-programmed in such a way, you know, in our artwork and in our business mindset, and it takes balls, you know, and to bet on yourself and to take that control back and not because like for me with the axe wielder stuff, it's like okay, I'm going to go do this thing on my own. The scariest part of that is that now your final number is reflective of your worth. So if that thing falls out at $7,000, well, now I've publicly fallen on my face. So you structure as much
Been
as you can to win.
been exposed. Tim Pool's talking about he thinks a lot of Hollywood stars are bailing on Twitter because if the bots get wiped, it's going to reveal they got no clothes on. You know?
Yeah, like Emperor has no clothes kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had so much stress too, looking at some of the short-sighted business decisions of the industry. And you're like, and that was like eating me up. Like, was there going to be a place for me for what I'm striving for and what I want to do? And then, but with the second you flip, you're like, oh my God,
It's all there. Like, yeah,
every fan that they could be losing, all that stress now, every bad mistake that the industry makes now is actually a positive for you. Now you've flipped it to where there's hope. You flipped it to where it's your gain and not your loss.
it's also you almost want them to keep doing the shit they're doing. You know?
I mean, I still think the health of the industry is important, so I hate saying that, but like I do think Marvel and DC are still the tent poles, but having the creative freedom, but then with that comes a creative discipline too. You're answering to yourself. It's why I had to hire my own editor, you know, because I know some people say in crowdfunding you don't need an editor, but if you can go hire an Eisner Award winning editor that will follow up on your emails and stay on your ass and someone you're accountable to, I do think I'm conditioned to answer a true deadline bell, you know, and even still, even with him, I have a hard time, you know, being at home working without that hanging over my head, you
Yeah,
know.
you got to mentally trick yourself.
Yeah,
Like even like I turned in pages like 2 days later than I wanted to this week, and just having John there, it's just like I feel that pressure, dude. I don't want to let John down,
well, he's gonna
but
fucking crack his whip on you. That's why.
but I like it though. I feel like I'm definitely I can go down rabbit holes on the internet just too fucking easy, dude. I need somebody like lording over me. I'm just not disciplined enough mentally to not have somebody to answer to. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. I mean, I guess we all are decently all right at it because we are, working from home drawing. You're definitely your own boss at the end of the day, but still, I don't know. Plus, if you're, I think also, working Marvel DC or, me with CG dudes, you don't want to let your team down either, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. Having a group that you can be held accountable to is nice. Um, that comes with baggage too, you know. Like then you all gotta support each other then too, and if you don't, then you feel like they're letting you down, and you become obligated, and that's a tough thing too. Like as I dip my toe into this space, I'm always like, okay, all that independent freedom you wanted, you have, but it is good to be associated. I think the real answer for me is just being a fence sitter, where you don't piss anyone off. Everyone's dollar is green. You don't care. You know, you speak your mind when you have to in certain situations, but other than that, um, but
As long as you're going for, you just want the most people to read the book, dude.
I mean,
Obviously, that means
I
more
mean,
dollars at the end of the day.
well, I want to make good work, and to make that good work, I have to and work I'm proud of. There has to be an audience for it. Like it is the most insane thing that you would hire talent that would insult anyone that would buy your book, and I would never want to insult anyone that would buy my book. You know, that's just against my core principles as running a business. You know, it makes no sense. Uh, and I'm like I've always been a free speech absolutist. Like I believe that everyone should have the right to say what they want and then let things fall where they fall. And I don't I don't know. Like, so I'm okay with everyone saying what they want, but the ramifications of it are what they're going to be, you know, like you go piss off a bunch of fans. So, like, for me, then I don't say things that I probably should say at times because I don't even want to piss any side off, you know. I just want to, I would love it where it was, if it was all merit based and like Nick did this detail work and it's strange or weird, but it's kind of interesting. Uh, and they only looked at my work on a merit based system, you know, like that's what we all hope for. But then there is this thing where like me and you could get on privately, you know, we go at each other hard and we fantasize about, man, if we did this or that, it would be funny.
Yeah, it'd be
And
awesome to have a show where we're just lighting each other up.
yeah, yeah, and just or just bagging on anything we want to. But at the same time, I think Twitter and social media, what I think it is, it's like I used to have office jobs, you know. It'd be like yelling those things down the hallway, you know, like, hey, yell at the bosses at Marvel down the hallway. You're doing a fucking gimmick that's hurting the sales, you retards, you know? Okay, you ain't working here no more. So like treat it like the HR department of whatever office you're in is gonna hear it, you know? And then that kind of keeps me from going nuts. Sometimes I open my mouth, but you know, it is what it is. I think sometimes there's just right and wrong, and you got to say something. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I think people want to hear the truth until they hear it. Then they all of a sudden they don't feel so comfortable hearing the truth. You know.
like I put my foot in my mouth when the Jay Lee thing happened, and I just thought it was for me. I'm a private business person. I'm working at. I'm hoping to work for Marvel and DC more, but it's my business, and if if Ethan was hiring Jay Lee and it's a gig for him, and he needs to feed his family, and he's paying more, and then having a figurehead of Marvel, which I would argue the head Batman writer at the time, coming out and basically shitting on Jay for taking that gig and calling him something he isn't, that then suppresses pay. That's a competitive payment that now you're suppressing out of the industry. So as you might think you're being righteous, I just think it's completely irresponsible of Tom King at the time because what he's doing is he's taking away competitive pay, which would raise all of our rates. And since they constantly do that, they constantly suppress pay, and you know rates haven't gone up. Like in the set, I think '76 or in the '70s, Chaikin had tried to organize the union, and
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. How
he
long
wanted
it's been.
$300 a page for pencils and inks is what he was fighting for. And I can tell you with certainty that most, definitely the new ones, and most guys that have been at Marvel for 10, 15 years, a lot of them for pencils and inks ain't even getting that today. And I think it's because of actions like that. And it's easy to be on Batman, getting Batman royalties, getting whatever gigs you're getting from it, and then you're going to stomp on a legend in Jay Lee and call him a white supremacist when he's an Asian man. Like, get out of here. And I didn't know Jay, but I spoke up a little bit. And then did that help me out any? Probably not. Should I probably not said it? Yes. But I don't know. There's just sometimes where it's just like, come on. And then it's like impossible. Like I remember when I did tweet a little bit of stuff out and I just did the opposite. I said, this white man, you know, I was an asshole. I was like, this white man is attacking an Asian man. And everyone was like, what? And, you know, Tom King, lots of people were doing that though. You know, it wasn't just me.
Hmm.
But Tom King had to apologize. But he had that weird like thing where he said it's all good. How could it be all good when you just smeared this dude's name? And then and then there's that
It
side.
was definitely non-apology vibes going on with
Well,
that shit.
well, why would it be? Why would he go to social media with it? And then what has he done behind the scenes? Just an email to an editor at Marvel or DC could ruin him, could ruin 50% of his hireability, if not all of his hireability. And then to be so bold to go public with it, and like, are you bragging about it? Like, what are you getting out of this? You could just take that to your editors, but now you're going on social media using your platform to say, this
Or
isn't
just contact
my
Jay Lee and
guy.
be like, bro, but you know who you're dealing with over there? He didn't even do that, dude. He just shitted all over him.
Yeah,
Fuck Tom
but
King.
no, I don't say that. I just think everyone needs to act right. I think if the same thing, if he would have treated Twitter like a HR department, like at that time, Tom King's the guy running down the hall saying shit that's really bad,
Hmm.
So if everyone treated it like an HR department, the industry would be healthier, I think, But that's kind of against my free speech
I
motto
think,
too, right?
yeah, I think
It's like
that's like kind of the
I want
opposite
free
of
speech.
what I
Like
think.
I know I want free I want free speech and professionalism. Is that so much to ask for? You know what I mean? Is that so much to freaking ask for?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You almost can't have it both ways with that shit.
Yeah,
And when was the industry ever like that, you know? Never really.
I don't know. The more it's that familiarity. Say it, Tommy Patterson.
You just said it. Familiarity.
There you go. Thank you for saying I said it when I didn't. I appreciate it. Um,
I had to give you confidence, bro. I had to boost you up right
but it's that breeds contempt. Like the more you learn about, like me and you hate each other, right? We've been around each other
there.
too long. Like after a while, you're just sick of everything, And
Yeah, by the end of this conversation, I'm already tired right now, bro.
I
I'm ready
know,
for a
I know.
fucking nap talking about this bullshit.
Just after a while,
I'm feeling
just
like this Ninja Turtle I'm drawing, dude. I'm fucking beat down. I got that
just
goofy Scotty Young eye going on.
you got Scott. Are you doing Scotty Young style? Put curly hairs all over it, bro.
One big swollen eye and then pubic hairs all over the place. Oh man, how much do you think Scotty Young hates my guts for real?
Oh, so yeah, did you ever tell a story about how Scotty Young unfollowed you? Did you ever tell that? Is that worth telling, or you don't want to get into it?
I don't know. I'll save that one. We'll save
All
that
right,
one.
all right. I like Scotty. I think he's a good guy, and what I like about Scotty is he was one of the first artists of the modern generation to start getting invited to some of those summits and stuff, and carve his own path. He's a go getter, for sure. And I think that's good. A rep having somebody in this.
I'll let the chat know. I pissed Scotty Young off enough at one point that he threatened to show me his tax returns.
Is that what he did? I never got the full gist of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I called him a fat ass, and he's like, "Don't make me show you my tax returns." Like, all right, buddy. All right, lard ass.
Did you tell him about the basketball and ketchup story, or you gonna let that one die? You ever tell him that?
Yeah. No, maybe. Yeah, I've mentioned it on a drawing stream before. CB Sablohardski, nonstop, tweeting like he's fucking Anthony Bourdain. And I don't know, it just got on my nerves. He was like the first person I unfollowed on Twitter. And he did one foodie tweet too many. And I
And
said,
Tommy couldn't take it anymore, and he decided to fire up Twitter. And what I recall was you responded. He said something, and it was some gorgeous meal from overseas, and he was eating, and it looked awesome, and he had friends and family, and he was glowing, and he had that red glow to his cheeks.
his, yeah,
Tommy just jaw on him.
his hypertension was like pristine at that point.
And Tommy did the most insane thing I've seen any pro do.
Yeah, I lit my career on
He
fire.
he let for no reason. Tommy responded, "I bet you eat a basketball if you could get ketchup on it or something like that."
Yeah, salt.
Oh, salt.
Yeah, I said
I'm sick.
you'd eat
I'm
a
sick. Of,
basketball if they put salt on
oh, for no reason you attack that man.
it.
Mm,
Mm.
mm, mm.
And then I was about to get the long shot job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jordan White. He was like, "All right, man, we're good to go. I'm gonna put this above the rate committee, see what kind of rate you're gonna get." And then he's like,
And rate committee and CB's definitely on the rate committee. At least he was
"Oh,
when I.
he was 100% on the rate committee then." And Jordan got back to me. He's like, "You didn't quit Game of Thrones, did you?" I'm like, "Hell no, I didn't quit Game of Thrones." He's like, "Good." because the rate committee decided you aren't Marvel quality.
Mm,
And I was like,
mm.
that's CB right there. Behind the scenes, they used to call him, what's the guy from Game of Thrones? The eunuch. What's that guy's name?
I don't. I'm not a big Game of Thrones guy, so I couldn't tell you. I didn't work on it like
Varies.
you.
Varies. That guy. He's working behind the scenes.
Anyway, again, that's not something you would have said to your boss if it was a hallway. You know what I mean? You got a little too chummy, is what I think.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it was dumb. It was impulsive, but it felt fucking good, dude. It felt so good. Call that fat piece of shit out. Mm.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, I didn't mean. Whoa, I take that back. My bad. I'm getting too comfortable. I'm getting too comfortable here on air right
CB's always been good to me, so I disavow.
now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You like CB. Everybody else likes him, dude. Everybody I've talked to likes that dude.
He's cool. He's a artist guy. You know, he loves artists and
Yeah.
would seek him out
What's
and
up, past master?
gave a lot of people their breaks, which is cool. But he ran that comic book resources comic book idol contest and he was one of the it was before he was editor in chief, obviously. Oh, he was one of the judges, and he had this book called Wanderlust at Image, and it was like his boyhood dating and hanging out with his buddies and drinking beer and stuff. And we had to illustrate um, some of his basically his diary entries or something. And
What?
I got pretty good reviews on it.
Wait,
Hey, you can be as confused as you want. This is the facts.
wait. Whose diary?
Not his diary, but like his one. I mean, it's called Wanderlust. It says illustrating some of his youthful adventures, and CB was a main character. Anyway, I got the privilege of getting to illustrate some of that.
Oh, that sounds awesome, dude.
And gave me good feedback. Ryan Otley was a judge, and I think Ryan Otley's probably this generation's best artist because he's a deadline hitter. He's got so much work behind him. He's also got a style that infuses a little manga and a few things that I think push the envelope and connect with a bigger audience.
I'm gonna be
Um,
controversial here. I kind of agree with John's take on um, Ryan that he's kind of dumbing himself down. But let me say this: his new Hulk stuff, by far the best work of his career. I fucking love it. I don't think he's dumbed down on the new Hulk stuff.
I just think like the amount of work he's got behind him now with 150 issues of Invincible and
Him
just
doing
so much.
him doing the Corey Walker thing to keep it a seamless transition. I'd have just rather him do, he done the Harvey Noodleman or whatever the fuck that book was.
No, I think if you, I know Ryan pretty well. He's a Felix guy too, and he's really cool.
Oh, I've talked with
Night,
him a couple times. Yeah, real nice guy, dude. He's like hilarious too.
yeah, yeah, he is. I bought him his first drink, ever. How cool is that?
No, after he left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where his status is with that now, but he was having doubts in faith at the time, but he had never drank,
and then lo and
and
behold, a demon like you buys him his first drink.
I bought him a margarita at Papa Cito's. It was me, Paul Pope, Scotty Young, Ryan Otley. I'm the one nobody knows of the group.
and
and
big fat pig man, you.
big fat pig man, me. And there was a couple other guys too. Oh, James Heron was there. He's fantastic, I think. And
He's like my favorite artist right now. Anytime I look at his stuff, I'm like, God, I want to do that.
he's so good.
Sylvester's got me in a whirlwind right now. I look at his newer stuff and I'm just like, yeah, I want to do that.
I don't know. So well, actually, I met Sylvester at the Image party, and he was really nice. I met him and Todd, who Todd's just like a monster. He's as charismatic as advertised, as awesome. When I met Mark and um, Todd, we were at like a rooftop party, in San Diego. It was like an exclusive image party, and they had all the Walking Dead cast walking around.
Oh yeah,
And
tell that story about Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. Oh, that was a different. Oh yeah, Norman Reedus was there. That's right. At that time, he was. They were using his face as that meme for the ugly crying because he had cried in Walking Dead. And so I walked up to him and said, "Let me get that ugly cry selfie with you." And he's like, "No, man, you're trying to make fun of me." And I was like, "No, dude, come on, it's funny." And he's like, "No, I ain't doing that." And so I took the picture, but I ugly cried and he didn't. and then and then who else was there? The guy who does Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane was a special guest at the party, and we just so happened to be in the VIP area because we got there early because there's free drinks, so we were drinking. And then they roped it off and had a private bar, but we were already there, and we were already tipping the waiters, so they let us stay. Me, Nick Dragata, my now wife Kelsey, and then we could then walk out and bring people back with us, right? So they got to hang out with some of the Walking Dead people. And so Norman Reedus was there, and everybody was there, and but even special bodyguard was Seth MacFarlane, and he was there, and he was a pretty hot girl he was hanging out with, and so I'm like, I walk up to the guy who's like his bodyguard, and I'm like, "Hey, can I get a selfie with him? You know, can I get a picture with Seth MacFarlane?" And he's like, no, I don't think I can let you do that." And I was like, "All right, well," I said, "All right, buddy, well, I'm just gonna wait around here and look over at you and smile sometimes, and at some point at the night, I'm gonna mosey back over here and try again." He's like, "I ain't gonna stop you." I said, "All right." Sure enough, waiting in the night, everyone's a little tipsy. Come back over, and he's like, "Man, you're persistent. All right, go ahead." And I go in there and I take a selfie with him. We get back to the hotel later, and I got that selfie. And Hickman and I think it was Scotty and Scott Snyder did not go to the image party, even though they had image books, you know. And so I was like, "Y'all missed it out." I said, me and Dragata were sitting in our hotel room still drinking, and I tweeted out, "Just had a blast doing lines with Seth MacFarlane and Dad Seth MacFarlane." And Dragata's like, "That's exactly why that dude doesn't do selfies." And you're gonna tweet that out. I tweeted it at like everyone who missed the party to make it seem like it was bigger than it was,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So that was fun, and yeah, it was a blast. That was a fun night. And then after that, Image told me that I have a that I'm banned from the Image parties from now on.
uh,
And
that's
I
what,
confirmed Sean Kirkham runs a good bit of Skybound, and I was like, "Dude, is it true?" And he was like, "Listen, it's just a soft ban. Just give it some time."
see, it's worth it though. Like my CB.
Dude, it was a blast, man. We had so much fun.
What are you talking about, John? With Kelsey Shannon? What's the question here? I'm a bit too busy drawing, not following the chat. Me attacking an Asian man. Who did I attack that's Asian? Well, I wanted to be Jim Lee when I was younger, dude.
No, he's talking about CB.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Jesus, dude. These clowns. I wish that I could have went and found that tweet whenever that story broke where I said he ate a basketball. I'd be like, I told you guys this motherfucker was up to no good. So you were out there causing a scene.
It's fun, man. I don't think anyone doubted it wasn't a good time. And who else I was there with? Oh, my wife was so drunk that night when we got back to the hotel, and I was like,
You
when
know,
this is gone.
don't forget we're live now.
Oh, yeah, well, not this. What
Okay.
she did was, I was like, "We're hungry," we were all fucking drunk, and she was drunk too. And Ramon was there. Ramon Villalobos was there, and he had given my wife his ticket to the party because he's like straight edge, he doesn't drink or anything, and I had, I collect Frank Quietly art, so I just so happened to bring an extra Quietly page to show him, and I said, "Dude, that's so much fun. You can have this page." And I gave him a Frank Quietly, a new X-Men page, as a thank you, and plus he's a huge Quietly fan too, so we're all sitting there laughing, and Trigata's like, "I can't believe you sent that tweet out about doing lines with Seth MacFarlane." And I said, I told my wife to make us some food, and we had went to the grocery store because we had a little kitchenette at the hotel,
Hmm.
and we had hot dogs, right? And so she starts bringing me a hot dog. She brings me a hot dog and brings Ramon a hot dog, but it's taking her for fucking ever. And I'm like, so, and anyways, we realized that she's so drunk that she's making the hot dogs one by one, like putting everything back up, pulling it back out, microwaving it one by one.
Oh my god,
I
dude.
told her, I was like, you know, you can make these all at once.
Oh Jesus.
And everybody was just dying laughing.
Wasted, bro. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Give us Ninja Turtle one tiny pupil in his eye, because he's crazy. Whenever you get the brain damage going on, you got that your eyes get all keen looking. Has there ever been a goofier knockout than Rashad Evans getting knocked out? And he had one eye going up, one eye going down. Had those fish lips.
Yeah, he got busted pretty good. But what goes around comes around. Didn't he get? He got Liddell pretty good too, right? He fucked Liddell up.
Mm-hmm. Dude, he went on a tear, killing everybody there for a while.
Coming up out of that Ultimate Fighter where he was like a 185 or fighting heavyweights. That was pretty cool. He
Oh,
gained weight.
John, somebody took a bat to John's mailbox. Looks like
What are you talking about?
John had to replace his mailbox this morning. They're after him, bro. One too many edgy jokes. He lost his mailbox.
Make a break mailbox this time.
One of my buddies in high school, they went around smashing mailboxes with a ball bat, and they got a little too close, and his finger got mangled, dude. And the doctors, it should have been amputated. I mean, if you saw the thing, uh, if you saw the newer Stranger Things, the way their fingers break and twist around and turn backwards, his shit was like that after they fixed it. What an idiot.
I never did it. I drove a Camaro. It was a Berlinetta. It was weird because it was like an 86 or something like that. And it had like a digital dashboard way too early. You know, it was one of those looking things. And I would drive and it would be on trash day when you get out of school, you know, empty trash cans. And this is so wrong of me, but I repent, you know, and I'm not bragging about it, but I would swerve over and my buddy would grab a trash can, pick up the empty trash can hanging out of my side of my car. Then I'd floor it. And then he'd take that trash can and we'd be like 8 houses down. Then he'd hurl that at somebody's mailbox and knock it over. Just what's the purpose of that, you know?
Oh, I did so many shithead things as a kid, dude. Like seventh grade, my buddy would come over and spend the night, and like 2 or 3 weekends in a row, we took a hoe, like gardening hoe, and a brick, and we just go around busting windows out of cars in the neighborhood, like complete.
God, asshole, dude.
Dude, I don't know what we were thinking. Shit like that is like, if I shit my pants in public or something, that's not even embarrassing to think about. It's kind of hilarious, but I get embarrassed thinking about all the mean shit I
Yeah, especially because we like to think of ourselves as good people, you know. But nah,
did.
we're all turds.
Yeah, dude. I'm
Leaving us to our own vices and or devices. Is it vices?
vices.
Vices. Man, we'll just be taking down mailboxes, shitting our pants, digging each other's butts, fuck anything that moves. Just God, if you don't have Christ in your life, it's bad.
It gets bad real quick. I just get consumed by darkness so easily, dude. It's crazy. I don't know what to do about it.
I've been listening to a lot of. There's a great YouTube show called C.S. Lewis Doodle, and on C.S. Lewis Doodle, C.S. Lewis, obviously the writer of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, a great Christian writer, but his real work is as a Christian apologist, right?
Yeah.
It's mere Christianity, and there's a guy on YouTube that's just illustrating all of Mere Christianity and Screw Tape Letters and a couple other books he's done. And he's basically, his case for Christ and how he went from an atheist to an agnostic to a believer.
Hmm.
And it's fantastic. But he talks about how a lot of us stop at right and wrong. That's about where I'm at now, like that's right, that's wrong. But putting a Christ figure, putting on Christ, like the mask of Christ, or pretending he's next to you, maybe you go do the extra thing that's not required of you. And then that starts making you a good to great person instead of just a getting by guy, because I think a lot of us have our own problems we got to deal with if we go to the church or we mature or whatever you want to call it. Maybe we get rid of some of that sin, and maybe it's too much drinking, maybe it's too much porn, whatever we're dealing with. But then once we get rid of those one or two sins, or we get them lightly under control, then we think we're good now and we're fixed. But there's the journey's so much harder and further than that. So highly recommend C.S. Lewis Doodle. It'll break down how moral law actually is hinting at something
I
and
like the
blah
C.S.
blah blah.
Lewis doodle. I like the after school dude. That shit's awesome. Basically, if you doodle on a YouTube video, I like it.
Well, I was thinking like you're using two powers. You're using verbal and you're using visual, so it's twice as good of a teacher. And so like the Mere Christianity, if you read it dry, it doesn't have the same effect as if this guy's drawing his little stick figures and stuff to explain what's going on. It's a great visual aid to go with it. I
Remember,
think that's why it's so
remember
good.
when we were talking about we were deliberating on the idea of drawing a picture for every verse in the Bible, and then I did the math on it, and it would be like 42 years of our lives. God bless you.
It's weird. Like the
A lot
not Da
to it.
Vinci. Well, there's a lot of these artists go like straight religious at the end of their lives. Like Salvador Dali started drawing Christ images all the time and stuff.
Pretty baller ones at that.
Yeah, his are good. His are really good. He's like, you thought I was drawing melting clocks, bitch? That was just a bait and switch. It's all about Christ. Got you. I'm out. Dead.
He twirled that fucking mustache and took off.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie of his? It's almost like a
Dude, he does all that avant garde, weird,
yeah, dude, where
strange
that
stuff,
eyeball
dude.
gets like cut into with a razor.
Dude, he was like into sculpture. He was into cinema. He was into so much stuff, dude. He
He,
was a very
he
eccentric
was
weirdo.
convinced that holograms, like printed holograms, were going to be the future of art. He he would have been a big time collector of comics in the early '90s,
He's a big time lenticular color man. Get that the upper deck. What was his upper deck Fleer tops? And then they started coming out. They started coming out with like paper mache cards that would be layered up to make them 3D. They come in like a shell. I had a Jose Canseco like that. But what was the top brand at the time? There was Upper Deck was a nice one for sure.
Upper Deck was kind of like the best of the best kind of deal.
Yeah, there were some the ones now. I haven't been in baseball card collecting in a long time. But
I think it's back, by the way.
oh yeah, it is back. It was back when COVID hit. They like exploded. But now they're putting like it's actually cool. Like to get a piece of Michael Jordan's game worn jersey sewn into a card. It's pretty badass. Like that's actually way cooler than something that's printed at the thousands or millions of levels.
Yeah. Oh, great. We had like 11 viewers, and you start going in on your Christian diatribe. Ran them off, dude. You ran those demons right off.
Here, I got a quote for that. Here we go. John 3:19. A little something for you boys. Not 3:16. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but people love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. And this is the judgment. The light like so and then I'm gonna keep going. Why does it stop there? I want to read the whole thing. I guess 3:20 also.
Did you see that text message from the FTX guy that was going around yesterday?
Now, I don't know about the FTX stuff. You want to fill your audience in, or you already talked about
I hadn't talked about it.
it?
He was doing I think Vice is doing a story on him,
Yeah.
and he was talking with her, like a chick from Vice, and he was just like, "Yeah, LOL, all this woke stuff's so fake." And like if you go watch all his YouTube videos for selling it, he's painting himself as like a super good guy. He's doing it for all the right reasons. He's gonna be donating all this money. But
I'd heard that. I'd heard like some people on Fox saying that they were the funneling money for the Democratic Party or something like that.
yeah.
Something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Oh, definitely. He sent some to your boy Cocaine Mitch too, though. So they're all in on that shit.
I don't know. It seems like I love
Money.
conspiracy theories. We got nothing else to do when we draw all day, so might as well listen to some conspiracy theories. So, for entertainment purposes, I love a good conspiracy. But this guy was apparently, for me not knowing anything about it, I know that he was funneling money to the DNC, and he was in a 10 partner polygamist relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Polyamorous.
polyamorous. And if you're walking around with, is it worth it if you're is it worth it having $100 billion, but your butthole's loose in every orifice is violated? I don't know, dude.
Just leaking all over, bro. Ugh, disgusting.
You keep your millions of dollars and your adult diapers. I'm out. I'm good here.
J Dub said that everybody left to go listen to Possum Kingdom. J Dub with the callback. Hmm. Which way should I render this? I don't know if that Chuck fella's still in here. He was kind of going on about wanting to learn some art stuff. Um, if you show up and I don't have Nick on going crazy, I'll show you some. I'll teach you some art stuff, Chuck. You can just send chats and I'll go over it and give you the best info that I know on it.
Tommy's a good passer along of information. He'll send you like 3 or 4 PDFs that are 400 pages long and expect you to read it. And
uh,
and then he'll tell you 2 years later, he's like, I told you that, I showed you. I'm like, no, you got to break it down like an idiot. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to read a 400-page PDF that you found on some obscure website. I can't do this right now. The
I don't know, dude. Like we decided, my archetype is the librarian.
librarian. What was mine? I forgot what mine was. But yeah, here's the librarian. You just pass along information. You shuffle it along.
Got Phil in here listening to us. You need to know how to practice. I got you. All right. Well, Chuck, here's what you need to think about when you practice. You need to not only draw, like brute force, sit down and practice, but you need a system for practicing, right? So you gotta get you a good framework for teaching yourself. That's the first thing. So how do you learn best? Do you learn best by books? Do you learn best by video? Or do you learn best by just doing? And I'm guessing it's not just doing it, or you wouldn't be asking the questions, right? Some people just jump right in and try to figure it out. If you hear the stories about Mike Turner and how he got good so fast, it's pretty mind blowing, dude. But for me, I was a dumbass and it took me a while. I didn't even get what I would call good at drawing until I was like 31, 32. And that's, drawing my whole life. And it still took that long. So you got to get a system, right? So what do you want to work on? Do you want to work on rendering or do you want to work on anatomy?
We start with the more basic advice, right? Like the more basic, we get to the core, like carve out
Construction,
some,
gesture,
no, no,
construction.
no, not even that. Carve out time to just do it. Like figure out a time that's
Mm.
going to make you disciplined. Like every day at 6 o'clock. Let's say you're doing something different and you're not drawing for a living right now. Then carve out an hour before bed
That's
and make sure you hit it.
that's part of the
And
system, right? You got to have a
yeah,
system
like
where you show up every day, and if you don't draw that day, you feel like you fucked up big time by not drawing that
yeah,
day.
something to be accountable to, and that's a big jump. That's a big jump for even pros, but that's important. That, and then the really important thing is don't jerk off before you draw. You sit down by yourself and you're like, oh, I got
Dude,
this out
that's
with
a joke.
myself.
That's a joke, but that's not a fucking joke, dude.
No, it's
Seriously.
not a joke, dude. I can't tell you how many comic artists are chronic masturbators, dude.
uh,
You sit
Phil
down with a
Phil
moment to
says
yourself
send
after
those.
a
Phil says
long
send
day.
those 3D print files.
Oh, I will. I will. I'll send them to him. Phil's after my dollar always.
He's
Just
hungry.
relax, Phil.
Yep,
I'm gonna.
you better send it to him before he marks up the price again.
God, I'll tell you what, dude. As my campaign went up, the price went up five, six, seven, $8. So I'm like $200,000 for
Dude,
two printed models here.
you sure that didn't Biden inflation though? I don't know, dude. I feel like inflation's 30%. Phil was at about 60.
I'll tell you what, dude. Hire your talent before your campaign pops off. That's all I can tell you. That's a fact.
Oh, where were we? Talking about Chuck. All right. At the end of the day, Chuck wants to know how to draw comic pages, but he needs help. All right. So, like, I don't know your drawing ability level, or are you just talking specifically like how to go about you get Will Eisner's book, Comics and Sequential Art. You got to get that and read that.
I don't even know if I like that. I would say,
What? Are you out of your mind, dude? That looks awesome.
well, to get him excited about the way he's drawing comics the Marvel way,
Yeah, yeah.
written and drawn by Stan Lee.
Oh, what a crook.
I think that'll make you start drawing interesting angles. So if you really want to do sequentials, you got to, like, what's a short story in your head that you would want to illustrate, and can you start doing the layouts for that? That's really the process that we all have, and maybe you find a script online to do, but it's just going to be practice. And I wouldn't stress about the finish and making perfect pages. I would do the thumbnails and the early process of laying stuff out. You're probably going to need a lot of work on your final drawings, and that's what everyone's going to give you the high off of, like, this is it, this is that. But really building your under construction, like the Loomis book is great, which now is in reimprint is in print again
Yeah,
for
you
construction.
don't even know what you need to work on until you like actually try to draw some pages. So you just got to
So
sit down and draw some pages.
my problem is I would start pages without planning them early on, and I'd get these really nice, like a nice head or a nice torso, but then it wouldn't really fit in the environment. And I was learning the surface down instead of the structure up, and
Hmm.
because and and I think that's what.
That's what took me the longest to get past. I was all surface because of the image dudes, right?
Yeah, yeah, all the
Like
surface
to this
noise.
day, if I got a shitty drawing, I can still kind of make it work. I can just render the shit out of it, right?
Yeah, but and that's what you do when you're first mimic stuff. You're just looking at the aesthetic tick marks and detail, and you're putting that down.
But that's just
But
not the
you're
way to go about it.
yeah, it's like drawing by numbers instead of learning how to draw. And I think learning how to draw is important. So, like, if learning how to draw is important, then getting a sketchbook and carving out time and building, and don't worry about doing finished work. Like, worry about
Yeah,
spending the time, and practice makes
sketchbook
perfect enough.
sketchbook is not for finished drawings. That's for figuring shit out.
Yeah,
As long as you treat it that way, it's not for finished drawings. It's for ugly fucking drawings.
this guy's name is Charles.
Chuck.
Chuck, I like Chuck. Well, Chuck is short for Charles. So, all right, Charles. Here's the deal. Once you do that thumbnail, why don't you hit Tommy up and say, "This is the shot I'm looking at," and then we're taking your schema in your head for some environment shot or some face shot, and then Tommy will show you how to finish it, and then you can probably learn a lot if he starts from your premise to his finish, and then you'd be guided really well, and it could probably make a good video for Tommy too. And then he'll invite you on, and then we can all see how you're not supposed to act because you'll be real defensive and stuff, and you're never supposed to be defensive. So
Mm.
you start explaining it away, or I meant to do this, or I didn't have time because my kids shit their
Dude, I
pants.
remember being
And
in line at the, yeah, your kids shit their pants. I remember being in line at the Chicago Comic Con to see Jim Lee. I was going to show him my portfolio and everything. And there was this hippie dipshit in front of me. And the whole time we're in line, this motherfucker's giving me pointers, right? He's like, whatever you do, don't argue with them. You got to take their advice. So he gets up there and shows Jim Lee his portfolio. Boom, dude. Excuse after excuse after excuse. I was just like, holy shit.
huffing and puffing.
Huffing and
So
puffing
you'll
hard.
if you've ever been in a portfolio review, a lot of people do that. It's hard not to. Just be really appreciative of the time and really try to listen. So many people don't listen, um, me and Tommy included. But I think you could do. You should come on and be super defensive, so Tommy could talk you down, and
Yeah.
it would be a learning tool for everybody.
Yeah,
And don't show up and
show me
start.
your stuff and I'll slap you around a little bit. And then at the end of the day, you'll realize you're still alive, bro. And it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, so that would be it. So you come in defensive and hot. Tommy spends his time to help you out, and then the whole thing will be a learning tool for all of Tommy's audience. And then you'll lick your wounds. Tommy will. I don't know what he'll do. He's mean. He can be real mean. So I'd be scared if you're going to go down this venture with him. But
Well, we're just bullshitting. Would you, Chuck?
you'll survive, and then we'll have a little learning tool for everybody. That's where I'm at. I'll chip in too, and then you'll you know what, I'll do it, and Tommy will do it. You'll get two different artists takes on how to fix your problems, because I never agree with Tommy, and he probably never agrees with me. And then it'll be real interesting. It's always interesting. I got some pro friends that whenever we're dealing with the layout, Tommy included, where they'll throw me something back and it's never what you were thinking. Like, it's so interesting to see another person's perspective or take on something you're thinking. So the more feedback you get, I think the better. And then you could ask specific questions about, well, how did you figure out that environment, or what made you put this line here, or whatnot. And then you could learn something from it. That would be my advice. Figure out a little short story you want to tell. I think if anyone who's creating work these days, I think they should try to come up with their own
You
stories.
just got to sit down and work. My biggest issue, even still to this day, is the whole analysis paralysis. Like I've been, for instance, trying to get into 3D and learning Blender, and I'll spend 6 months just trying to figure out the best way to learn Blender instead of just getting any random tutorial off the internet and doing it.
And I would say that too. Like, this is why I always say write your own story or figure out a script and go right away. Is just doing it, just trying it. You're going to learn so much. Like, you'll instantly learn if you know perspective or not. You'll instantly learn if your faces are wonky or not. Like, so much will be exposed if you just try to do it. Like, that's the main thing. So much will tell you that, oh, I need to order these books. Like, you're not gonna even know the questions.
That you need to ask.
You're not going to even know what answers to ask for, until you run into those questions. And I think trying to do it and knowing that no one's going to see it, whatever, and it's figuring out the questions you need to ask to
And
get the answers you need.
whenever you get all the answers, they change the question.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's the thing too, is whenever you go down this path, it'll be as frustrating. If you're always trying to push yourself, it'll always be as frustrating as it was the first time, because you'll always think you got it. Then you'll look back 6 months and be like, I didn't have it at all. Or then, like, oh, your girls can be drawn better. You can have a softness. Tommy's faces have gotten a lot better with John Malin yelling at him all the time about him. Is that true or not? But I think, like, as your friend, man, your faces have leveled up, and having another artist, be like, tweak this, it pushes you. And Tommy's done it for me, and I think that's a good way to learn, and then once he's done leveling up his spaces, and even though he's already a New York Times bestseller, he's already been published, it's still hard. And I'm buddies with Frank Quietly, and he says he's still never done a good page or a perfect page, because there's always something, you just go to the next thing. That's unfortunately the struggle. The as you start that page, you better get comfortable being in that position of not knowing exactly what you're doing,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's going to stick around.
5 or 6 months down the road, you'll realize that you were a fraud.
That's it. And if that doesn't all scare you off, draw a page and let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out what the fuck you got, Chuck.
I'm Team Chuck, though. I want to help them out. Anyone that would suffer through this conversation is.
Oh, now Phil's crying. Why won't you go on his channel? Because, Phil, you had your fucking chance.
Tommy's been my longtime friend in comics. I've driven out to meet him multiple times. Uh, I can say what I want, how I want. I can talk about God, religion, hermetics, the devil. I can talk about punching holes in my wall when I got high. Never judgment or always good advice. No expectation. That's probably my favorite thing in a friend these days. I don't expect anything from them, and they don't want anything from you. A lot of your friends or family, they kind of want something, at least your time, but they want something, you know? I don't like people to want stuff from me. And Tommy doesn't ever want anything. And I don't want anything from him. I don't wish him ill will. I want the best for him. If you can get people in your life that want the best for you and don't want nothing from you, you got a rare person in your life, I think. You know, that's usually people's parents. That's why they love their family. But outside of your friends and family, Tommy's one of those people. And one of the few. Even though he's an abject loser, I don't care. And I can say that Phil ain't there yet, so I can't show up on your show,
Yeah,
Phil.
yeah, Phil. Not quite there, bro. But like Chuck,
I'll be
if
I'll
just
be
like
signed
Chuck,
up.
Phil, you got to
I'll be
work on
signed
it.
the second I fire up that stream with Phil. I'll be on 3 or 4 variant covers for him. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that. I can't I can't do that social obligation.
Yeah.
Just let me sit back and not be bothered.
See,
It's
that's
like it's
that's
like old Del
honesty.
Keown. See, Del Keown came into this group looking for friends, and all he did was have to do 17 sketch covers for everybody's campaign. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get Del Keown.
When I saw Dale join Comicsgate, I wanted to be his friend so bad, dude. It was hurting me.
He's so likable too.
He is likable. I was there for him for his first live stream, watching, making sure he was still alive.
Oh, when he passed out, that like made Bleeding cool. I saw that. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude, he was just sleepy. I don't know what Bleeding Cool's going on about.
I don't know. I don't tune in a whole bunch of stuff. I follow a little bit of everything. Anything that pops up on my feed, I feel like a lot of that CG content's suppressed these days, not popping up all the time like it used to. What do you think?
Um,
I guess you know what the problem is.
I think
Why
there's
I
a I think there's a lot of it. I'll tell you that.
no, what I think it is because so much, because that's why I say Marvel and DC are so important. So much of the content of the counterculture big two stuff is like it needs the big two to be reflective off of, and at this point you just don't care anymore, and so then you don't care about the reflective content as much. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah,
So like that's why I think you do need a healthy big two, you know, even if it's for whatever reason, because then no one's just interested. It's not even like I don't like I'm I'm in the industry, but I don't care about what's going over there anymore. So I don't know,
yeah. You don't fucking know.
just don't know. I got my own shit to worry about.
I think the ship has sailed from Marvel and DC. I don't think there's any coming back for them. It's all going to be licensed out soon. Just like I predicted on my old Twitter account, like 4 years ago or whatever. As soon as IDW did that Spider-Man book, I was like, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen. Why would you have all that office space? You know?
I'm almost done penciling this page.
Yeah, I'm almost done with this Ninja Turtle.
How do I see it? Do I need to go to? Can I see it in our Skype chat?
No. I'll show it to you when I'm done. I just got to draw his feet and one hand, then I'm done. I
I'm pause
actually,
myself. I gotta take a leak. Give me 3 4 minutes. Go grab a soda and take a leak.
all right, go ahead. Do you
You
think?
gonna be good without me? You need
Yeah,
my support?
yeah.
You got any viewers right now or no?
Got 7 in here right now.
They got any questions?
Yeah, they want to
Why don't
know
you,
where the fuck
why
you're
don't you,
at. So
why don't you read why
go
don't you read them off? I never know what the conversation's happening. You know what's the
because
chit
I'm
chat?
busy drawing. I need to do the whole StreamYard and all that so I can highlight it here and there. But I'm a lazy ass. I like to run everything through OBS so I can control
What do you think about today's energy? Less manic than the last time? Is it better?
it. Yeah, you
Is
we keep doing this. You'll help me build my channel. Kim Jong Ji's looking down on us right now, proud. He doesn't want us to draw some titties though.
oh Kim Jong G's got a fiery passion for tits and ass. As someone who owns an original from him and sketchbooks with originals inside, I can I can confirm that 5/6 of his drawings are of the sick perversion kind, but they're done immaculately.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back.
All right. Hell, folks, I just want to say turtle power. This looks rad. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Phil, and I will go to the post office. I'll mail your shit out. I need to mail out the Graham swimsuit thing still. And since I've taken a couple weeks, I'll probably throw in a free page for the buyer. Need to start getting some original art up for auction for sale. Need that income so I can pay the tax, man. Pizza. What you going on about? Oh, okay. I got you. Ninja Turtle. Duh. Told you I'm a fucking Ninja Turtle poser. I forgot all about them liking pizza. Man, back in the 90s, they had a Ninja Turtle. It was almost like the modern day Cheeto Paws. They were Ninja Turtle pizzas, like crispity, crunchy, puffed up corn. Like a round hot fry. They're pretty damn good. Pretty good, bros. What do you think? You think that's why everybody's like lard asses now? Because watching Ninja Turtles, they were just always slamming pizza. They programmed us, bro. They programmed us. Didn't even realize it. Yeah, I don't know how detailed I'm gonna go on this background. I could do some stuff. I gotta get. Actually, Nick left. I'm gonna finish the feet and the hand and the nunchuck, and then I'm out of here. I gotta get drawing on some pages. After doing like whatever, however many layouts it was, 34 layouts. I'm telling you, bros, it'll steal your fucking energy doing that many layouts in a row. Probably won't do that many in a row ever again. But doing stuff like, drawing a fun ass Ninja Turtle, that's how you build your mojo back up. Uh, Comics and Cleve, what's her name? Kaylee? Her question today, what do you do whenever you have an artist block? Just sit down and get to work. It's the only way. Yeah, as soon as Nick leaves, viewership went up. He gets on here and he sounds like a southern preacher. It's like that running with the devil by Van Halen. That's him, bro. He's running from the devil. Like for real though. He's the only friend I have left from like all the mainstream buddies I had. All those fucking dweebs. They were scared. Nick is like expertly playing the middle of the road. Yeah, he's a teacher now. Hojo. When you're full of mojo, you're Hojo. You ever heard Peepin' Tom, one of Mike Patton's bands? He's got a song called Mojo. Maybe it's not called Mojo. Mojo Rising. Genome. Yeah, anyway. It's good stuff. Peepin' Tom, that's a solid fucking album. He's everything he does is like weird, right? But on this album, he said that he wanted to make an album that Britney Spears would like. So it's all kind of poppy. It's fucking excellent. Patton, yeah. I remember there was a argument on one of your streams, like you were going on about Metallica and all that, and people kept bringing up Patton. I guess the argument was just because they don't have good album sales doesn't mean that they're not better or whatever. If I remember correctly, you wasn't trying to hear that. It's an acquired taste. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just listen to the more metal stuff, like his thing that came out recently with the Slayer drummer, Dave Lombardo. I forget the name of it. Dead Cross or something like that. It's pretty gnarly. Yeah, Phantomas. Personally, I like Faith No More the best of all his stuff. Second, I like that one Peepin' Tom album he did. It's the last few years. The stuff I've been listening to the most is classic Judas Priest. And I mean, like, before the hits they had in the early 80s, the two albums at the end of the 70s they had, somehow I just never listened to that shit growing up. And hearing it now, it's like super fresh. And as soon as it starts, you're like, oh my God, everybody did rip these dudes off. And I say rip off, I mean it in a good way. Anybody that sounds like anybody else is a rip off. And a lot of Baroness, they're pretty good, especially if you like to get stoned and listen to music. Not me though, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm a patent simp. It's just pretty good. I'm not going to go to the end of the earth. I'm not wearing a Mike Patton t-shirt and belt buckle, but I like it. I think also part of it, like I've fucked around with music a decent amount, like playing guitar and all that stuff. And anybody that starts messing around with music that likes metal a lot, they end up going through a phase of Faith No More.
Didn't that dude eat a turd on stage or something like that? Once I heard that, I was out.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
That's what I
I
heard.
wouldn't put it past him. That's some G.G. Allen shit right there, though.
What is this? Whatever that song is, they're only one that made a radio.
You trolling me right now? Are you trying to fucking troll me? It's what is it?
I don't know. I don't listen to that demonic shit. Guy ate a fucking turd on stage. I'm out.
Did you see that chick that pissed in that dude's face on stage like this last year?
That's what I'm saying. Is there a bigger like downfall of society if people are urinating, eating turds on stage? I mean, come on here. We're trying to make high art.
You ever seen The Good Shepherd?
Lady Gaga throwing up on people and shit. Get out of here, dude. The society's jumped the shark. Everyone's got the face tattoos. Like I'm telling you, it's like that island of birds where everyone starts peacocking out because there's no predators.
Mm-hmm.
So they gotta get crazier and crazier to get attention. Pretty soon they're fucking shitting on themselves and collecting bottle caps and fucking doing dances and stuff. That's what we're doing now. We're just tattooing our faces and pissing and eating turds. Like, I mean, there's a point where we're a little too comfortable.
Anytime I see face tattoos, I think of the Pulp Fiction scene where he shows up and what's his name?
Travolta and the other guy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah, yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
It's
yeah. He's trying to get it.
Pierce.
He's like, you wanna, you dating anybody? You wanna go on a date with so and so in there? He's like, is that the one with all the shit in her face?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, that shit cracks me
yeah, that's hilarious. He's like, no, that's my wife.
up. Oh, that's a fucking hot scene right there.
That whole movie's so cool because
You can watch it as a drama, as a comedy. It works
and
on a lot of levels.
the plotting of it is circular. There's no like, it's not sequential. I mean, it's sequential, but it's not chronological at all.
Yeah,
Which is, it's like what builds the tension is the order of the scenes, but it tells a whole story in the end.
that's my wife. Boom, roasted, bro.
I like that he wasn't like apologetic. He's just like,
Oh
whatever.
man,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You got any heroin?
yeah, yeah.
I need a fix. So you're trying to tell me that eating turds on stage is not good? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm just about making music, right? I mean, why are we eating turds? Just trying to out, 80s flamboyant jumpsuit. Once you go for jumpsuit, right, and you go feminine and goth and big hair and hairspray it. At that point, like
Later,
anytime
John.
you can't walk around a Walmart like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't walk around a Walmart like that. But you go on stage and
No,
you're
you can
peacocking out.
now, dude. It's crazy.
But I'm saying, well, where does that lead to, right? Slippery slope. Then it's Faith No More eating turds on stage. Like what's the next? It's just just make some good music. You know what I mean? I ain't here to watch something unsanitary.
All right, fellas. The Ninja Turtle is done. Let's see if I can't this down a little bit. A little bit more of a close up.
Look that up. Just I don't want to smirch Faith No More. What is this? Is that the song?
Epic.
Well, what is it?
I say,
Um,
what is it?
did the lead singer of Faith No More eat a turd?
I like instead of did he eat feces, you're like, did he eat a
Okay.
turd?
Recounted in countless interviews, backstage chats, and even in books, it is now turns out the incident Oh, never actually happened. According to Face No More basis, while many of Patton's world tour, did Mike Patton really poop in Axl Rose's orange juice? I guess that's where I got it confused. Did Mike Patton explains why he peed on Axl Rose's teleprompter? Dude, what is going on with this? Diary of a Shit Terrorist. Patton's preoccupation with poo was first discovered in June '92 during an interview. Sometimes a shit eating video. See, like I'm telling you, like I put that in and he's pissing and shitting all over the place. Like, what is going on with this guy?
The guy from oh, Dillinger Escape Plan, he like smeared shit all over himself on stage, and he's asked about it in every interview, and he's just like, "Yeah, that was a mistake." I like that he owns up to it. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I fucked up on that one." But it's mainly over. It happened overseas, so they're the main ones asking about it whenever they do tours overseas or whatever. Luckily, American press has never really dug deep into it. All right, gang, kid's done. Um, I
How'd it
might.
come out? How'd it
It
come out?
looks pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. Looks good.
Which turtle did you end up doing?
The one with the nunchucks.
You talking about Mikey? Mikey's my boy.
Mikey. I thought Michelangelo was the one with the swords.
That's Leo. You know, we're on Ninja Turtles, and you said you should come on and talk some Ninja Turtles. All we do is talking about bass guitars eating shit all day. We didn't really hit on
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles,
thanks.
bro.
Thanks for letting it devolve again into that. Anyway, all right, everyone. We are done. Thanks everyone stopping by and watching. I'll do a high-res scan of this and put it online after I finish the background. I'm gonna put some random trash back there and do the drop shadow spotlight. And yeah. Anyway, thanks. See you guys next time.
Peace.
Wow. Wow. Wow.